Chapter 10. Something had awakened Anna, and she wasn't sure what. Looking at the bed next to her, she saw that Elsa was gone. In her place were soft flakes of freshly fallen snow. Elsa, she called. All she heard was silence. The light coming in the window seemed different. Curious, Anna stepped out into the balcony. Her mother's scarf wrapped tightly around her shoulders. The air was full of frozen crystals. As far as she could see, crystals reflected the colors from their northern lights, sending them all around. She looked in amazement, then spotted Elsa far away near the fjord. Just then, a mighty blast of light appeared from the north. The crystals began to fall in a cascade, starting farthest away, crashing to the ground without mercy. The villagers of Arendelle came to their windows and doors, holding each other close as the ice shattered on the cobblestones in front of their homes. And then, one by one, the lanterns around the village went out, leaving the only light to come from the moon. Anna knew she had to help the villagers. Eyes wide, she ran through the darkened castle, stumbling her way around before bursting out the doors right on the heels of Kristoff and Olaf. She didn't notice the lack of light. She just knew she had to find her sister. Running toward the fjord, Anna saw the water fountains drying up. She tried to make sense of it. The villagers tried too, opening their doors to look for answers as she passed by. The wind whipped up and banged open shutters and windows. It was so strong, people were pushed from their homes and into the streets. Anna, Kristoff, and Olaf did what they could to help, but they too were being blown across the streets toward the bridge. In stables, even Sven watched all the water disappear from his trough and those of the other animals. He looked up and gave a confused grunt when the gust of wind blew the double doors in and they slammed against the wall. Then he pushed the star door open with his antlers and headed out to the village. It was time to find Kristoff and the others. Elsa raced back to the castle once the ice crystals that started falling stops suddenly. The air rages. No fire, no water, the earth is mixed. You have to get out. And just like that, the cobblestones began to ripple like wheat in a breeze and shuttle people down the village streets. "We're being pushed out," a villager shouted. His body was forced up a path led to the cliffs. Elsa ran deeper into the village to help the people of Arendelle get to safety. "It will be okay," she shouted. "Evacuate to the cliffs." "Oh no," Olaf yelled as he tried to hold on a pole on the bridge. "I'm gonna blow!" Kristoff grabbed Olaf as many children as he could just as Sven walked up. Kristoff had never been more grateful to see his best friend. He placed his load on the reindeer's back. "I've got you. Wow, you're heavy," he said to Olaf. He nodded to the cliffs where the others were gathering. Sven grunted and headed off. The parents of the children who rode on him followed right behind, refusing to lose track of them. Anna joined Elsa and others, helping to make sure everyone got out of the village safely. She couldn't leave anyone behind in its dangerous conditions. Kristoff called to the sisters to lead their people because the Arendellians needed them. He stayed in the rear, aiding those who couldn't keep up. Working together, Anna and Elsa finally got everyone to the top of the cliffs and over the fjord. Then, when Anna looked back for Kristoff, she was happy to see that he was near. Behind them, the Arundel's flag that always flew at the center of the village was ripped off its pole by the violent wind. At the sound of gasp and surprise, the wind suddenly died. Everything went silent.